Hello, Namaskar and a very good evening to all the viewers watching our sessions out there. This is Simran Singh and you are watching this particular live interactive session of NCERT on eVidya channel number 6 to 12. Besides, we have so many different mediums through which you all can connect with us, and you can also participate in our live sessions by raising your queries, by sharing your messages, your feedback in the comment section of NCERT Official. That's our YouTube channel. Or if you are watching this particular live telecast, then you can also connect with us on our contact number that's flashing on your screens. So you may kindly note it down. It is 8800440559. And the specific mail ID for Sahyog session is sahyog.ncert@ciet.nic.in. So it's around 5 p.m. on your watch, and regularly from 5 till 5:30 we have our special sessions of Sahyog, where we try to provide guidance for mental well-being and psychosocial support to all the students, viewers, our audiences watching the program. So you must be willing to know what is the area of discussion, and the topic for the discussion would be withdrawn children, reason and support. So viewers, if you already know about the meaning of the phrase that is withdrawn children, the reason and support, then do mention it in the comment section. Or if you have any queries regarding this particular topic, then also you may share it with us. So let me introduce you to the experts or the guests for today's session. Here in the conversation, we are joined by Professor Subhash Chandra Roy sir. Namaskar sir. Good evening. We welcome you, sir. Sir is from Aniri, NCERT, Shillong. We are also joined by a practicing counsellor from Assam, Mr. Santosh K. Ojha, sir. Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar, ma'am.
We welcome you as well, welcoming both our experts. So let's begin our conversation on withdrawn children, the reason and support. So in the first place, I believe it is very important to understand the meaning of what are withdrawn children, who are they, and for that, I'll request Professor Roy to shed more light.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to all my viewers. It's very easy to understand and recognize the withdrawn children. Generally, such children, they do not participate in social activities, social gathering. They do not prefer to be a part of this gathering or any kind of social activities. The withdrawn children, they have the habit of being shy or keeping away from other people, and secondly, they try to find out the reasons why they are lonely, why they want to be alone, and why they prefer this solitude. So it's a kind of habit in them, maybe the shyness and all, and sometimes they are little hostile also to others. They have a little bit of anger inside, and their response towards others are a little aggressive also in these withdrawn children. They feel detached always. They are isolated always, and they don't like to participate, come out. Even they are hesitant to interact with any new person, any other person other than the family close one. Even sometimes in the family also, they are a little bit lonely in nature, and they are isolated, and they prefer to be isolated. So they are little scared also. They are little tense also. Such children are little tense also. So from these characteristics, one can easily recognize and understand these kind of children, withdrawn children. They do not come out to participate. They don't respond easily to in the class or in the family. They do not participate in the discussion. They always keep, even if they know the answer, they would prefer to be silent. So this kind of characteristics, I think, are generally with withdrawn children.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing those details. Let's also get to know more about the signs or the symptoms of withdrawn children so that we all can recognize and understand about them in a better manner. So for that, I'll request Santosh, sir, to please apprise us more about the symptoms and the signs of withdrawn children.
Thank you, ma'am. Very good evening to all of you. Madam, as rightfully told by Professor Roy, the word itself implies that withdrawn means they are secluded from the society. They have already presumed that they don't want to become part of the society or part of social activities. So such children, they generally tend to avoid social activities. And social activities like suppose if we are conducting any group discussion or any poem recitation competition or any sort of competition in the Vidyalaya, they will not participate. Even though they know that they can participate, they can perform well, but still something is within them, and withdrawn children generally in the initial days they are introvert, and if we will not talk to them, we will not interact with them, they will always remain in their own shell. Second, they always try to turning down invitations. Like suppose if family is going to attend some social marriage or some bhandaras or some social gathering, they will always try to avoid it because they have already procrastinated about others, what others might be thinking about themselves. And the third is they will always try to make excuses to stay alone. They may give some lame excuses like they are having stomachache or they are having headache or they are having lots of work to do, they are having pending homework, something like that. Means excuse making habit is very common in case of withdrawn children. So if a child is giving excuses, for example, early in the morning, the child is woke up or somehow we have what is called made the child wake up. The child after waking up, he will do all his daily activities, then at last he will say, today I don't want to go to school. Because he is having a sort of, you can say, fear from the society or from the peer. And if we will make the child to sit in a group, they will talk the list. They will be the person who will talk the list in the group. And these type of children, what they do, they always prefer to sit at the back bench, that means last bench. That means most of the backbencher, they are generally, we cannot specify, but generally they are withdrawn children. And they will also try to avoid situations in which they have to meet new people, because if they will meet new people, they have to interact. New people will ask questions कि क्या हो रहा है, पढ़ाई कैसी चल रही है, something like that, and they will always try to avoid questioning because they know the answer. They know the answer, but they have already assumed in their mind that what the person on the other side will think about them. And when the assumption is made by them, that assumption is rarely positive. They always make a negative assumption that the person will think something bad about me or something negative about me. And these are the reasons, means they build up their own thinking setup. And this is the prime reason behind their withdrawn behavior.
Thank you so much, sir. That would be quite helpful for our viewers. And moving ahead in the conversation, let's understand more about the different categories of the withdrawal children and also the ill effects of withdrawal symptoms on them. So once again, I'll request Professor Roy to please inform us more on that aspect.
So far as the types or the category is concerned, uh, I mean, there is one theory which is approach avoidance theory, which talks of three category here. And the one category is based on the shyness, the shy nature of the children. And this says that when if it is shyness, then the child would approach there would be high level of approaching from initiative from the child, and at the same time, if there is something, some rejection or something is there, and which is not bringing the fruit of the effort, then there would be high level of avoidance also. Also, it's a kind of sometimes there is one theory which talks about the inborn characteristic of the child. Sometimes in some children it might be there. There is one assumption, but this is where the shyness plays a role, and the initiative is at the higher level. But at the same time, if it doesn't reciprocate with the result, then again the avoidance would be again the maximum. So that is one category of these people. They belong to this. Then there is another category where I think it reflects on the training part of children. The training part of the children means in the family, if the psychosocial development of the child is not proper, then ultimately it amounts to some kind of withdrawn nature, and then the approach also, the initiative also, the attempt from one side, that also would be at the lower level, and avoidance also will be at the lower level. So the person, because the person is ill-trained, it's not properly developed the psychosocial aspect dimension of the personality. So in that case, these people, these children, they are little, they don't bother to attempt also, they don't bother to avoid also. It's that category of people, children. And there are some children who are, they have the tendency to avoid the social gathering, as it is said by Santoshji. Rightly said that, it's a kind of nature one has that, to avoid social gathering or party or any social group or attending any function or going anywhere where more people will be there, new people will be there. So avoiding this kind of situation is something which is, I think, there are people who belong to this category, and they have this tendency, and they find out the excuses. They get the excuses why they are not attending and not going or participating in any activities, social activities, and they enjoy loneliness. So there are basically three groups of people within these withdrawn children people, and they are categorized according to this approach avoidance theory. So far as side effect of this withdrawn nature is concerned, I think there might be a serious fallout of this nature if it is not attended properly. To my understanding, if parents or teachers in the school, they do not pay attention to such children who are withdrawn in nature, who are not talkative, who are not participative, who are not taking interest in people. They are always staying alone, staying in the room, inside the room, and they are less interested in all such kind of group activities, meeting with people and interacting with them and introducing oneself to others. If they are avoiding this, there might be gradually, and it is not attended, then there might be gradually some serious problems. It might crop up. And those problems might be mild to severe in the sense, I think that it might lead to this loneliness, this solitude might lead to, the mood swings, some kind of anxiety. Later on, if the degree increases, it might take the form of depression or sometimes the suicidal tendencies also, because there is a less interaction. The person is within his or her own, cave. He has set all the doors from inside. So in that condition, the same idea is repeating itself there inside, and the person has a particular mood or some deviation there, this side or that side. So these kind of things. If we look at the academic part, because the child is less participative in nature in academic activities, also in the school. Educator, we know that if you interact less, you learn less. So the child is learning very less, the learning level goes down, the academic achievement goes down, and then gradually that again becomes the reason for demotivation to participate in further activities. So it complicates, it gets complicated, and this way there are many side effects, and finally the person becomes mentally, psychologically a case in the later life. So these are the things. At times we find that if the child carries this temperament, this characteristic, the withdrawn nature, this nature, then the child develops some kind of aggression also in some way, because the thing liking or disliking becomes so dominant in the personality, the attitudinal problem becomes so dominant in the personality that anger crops up easily, and the child gets indulged in some kind of violence, fighting here and there, and later on might be addicted to some other unsocial and harmful behaviors also. So things also. So these are some of the consequences I think I see in withdrawn children in the later life. So it has to be addressed properly.
Thank you so much, sir, for explaining it at length to all our viewers. And let's also get to understand the causes of the withdrawal symptoms on children. So Santosh sir, please help us with that area.
Yeah, ma'am. The prime cause is fear. Because you see, fear is a psychological state of mind in which a child is scared of or afraid of things which are present in the vicinity of the child. And the reason of fear, since the child is mentally immature, the child is also unable to express the fear. So what the child will adopt, the easiest method is to stay away from the fear causing agent. The second is anxiety. Anxiety means now we are living in a society, we have nuclear family. Maximum 3-4 persons are there in family. Father is working, mother is working, and the child doesn't get sufficient time to express his mental turmoil or mental feelings or his own beliefs or his own what you want to say, with whom he will speak. For example, if both the parents are working, we have, and these days since we are working, we know the work pressure. When we go home after working and the child approaches us, we are already more or less mentally exhausted. We might not be addressing the issue of the child that much tactfully, which is actually desired from us. The third thing is depression. Depression, the reason of depression can be many. If the child is not performing well in academics, or if the child is not getting something which he is desiring, these things can cause depression. Fear of rejection. Fear of rejection means, for example, the child has given his name. Ma'am, I want to participate in this activity. Ma'am or sir, straightway, many times what you used to say, because we also want that our work is to be done perfectly nicely. So if a child whom we know that the child is withdrawn, if the child is giving his name to participate in any activity, what we will say? Beta tumse na ho paye. So this fear of rejection is also a prominent cause of withdrawal in children, because the child believes that ma'am or sir, they are having a perception that I can't do this. So slowly child, what he or she does, they slowly withdraw themselves from the society or from social activity. And the third thing is poor self-esteem. If the child is not given proper training, because we know that our home is our first training school. If our parents, they are not dealing with the child properly, then there might be multiple reasons. We are not going to what is called poke our nose in those reasons. But if the child is not given proper training or proper self-esteem, because we can compromise, but we can't compromise with our self-respect. These things are to be taught to the child. No compromise with the self-respect. And last but not the least, which is very common these days, is dysfunctional family dynamics. Multiple examples we have seen in our surrounding, that after marriage, the parents, they are bearing a child, and due to some misunderstanding, if the family is having some divorce or something like that issue, in which both the parents are not living happily and the child is with them. In many movies this has been seen, and practical examples are also there. So these reasons, which are very common, and they are mainly responsible for causing withdrawal in our children.
Thank you, sir, for explaining to us the causes of withdrawal in children, and also we would like to know the solution, how we can resolve the issues or address the issues that are related to the problems of children that have withdrawn. So, Professor Roy, please help us with that.
Yeah, thank you. It's a good question. I think the first thing we have to do in such cases is we have to notice, we have to observe, we have to identify such children around us in the family, in the school, in the classroom. But again, any personality problem, to me, I believe that it is matter of degree. So sometimes, introvert and extrovert, these are the categories of personality. But it doesn't mean that introvert people are sick or anything like that. But yeah, it's matter of degree. So we have to first see that what is the pattern emerging, and for that we have to identify such children carefully. If we locate such children carefully, then we have to make a point that we have not to allow them to stay alone all the time. That is one thing. Secondly, we have to also ensure that the child speaks, the child mixes up, the child talks to others. And the best part is that as a teacher or parents, let us start talking to such children first. Let us start making them open up, and that is the beginning. And gradually, when we engage such children in our talk, we can share many things. The third thing is that we have to be a patient listener. Whenever the child opens mouth, such children open mouth, we have to pay very attentive attention to them. We have that means we are paying respect to their words and their sentences. That is very important. So paying attention to their speaking or a speech, that is very important. And then I find that in all such cases, the personality problems, these kind of the weaknesses of the personality, I would say rather, that the motivation and encouragement is the key. We have to regularly we have to encourage such children to come up, to participate, to talk, to engage in talking, to mix with people, and all that. And we have to motivate them. We have to. We have one more point is very important. Then that as a teacher we have to, or as a parent, father or mother or elder in the family, we have to take them into our confidence that we are worried about you. This pattern in your personality is not a healthy pattern. We are worried. We are concerned about this. So let us talk. Let us come out of this. That kind of we have to develop this confidence in children and closeness with such children. Then at the same time, the caution is that let us not force them to talk or to mix up with people, other people. But yes, I mean, we can always encourage and motivate. At times, this also works when we share our, suppose as Santoshji had just said that the feeling of rejection or the fear of rejection or failure or ridiculing or bullying, or but there could be n number of things. So I think that we have to share our own struggles in our childhood, how we could manage with, how we could cope up with such kind of negative things in our life. So that also might motivate and encourage these people to come out of those factors which are pressurizing them to be withdrawn or to go inside, to remain inside. Then as a teacher, I would say that because we have in a school, we have a list of activities we do in our school on daily basis. In the classroom, we have question and answer session. In the classroom, we have sitting arrangement. In the classroom, we have classroom discussion, whole classroom discussion. In the classroom, while teaching, we have group discussions. Many strategy we adopt, and there we can ensure that such children are participating. They are participating. They are engaged in these activities. They are motivated to take part.
Of course, sir.
So I think these things will help them to come up and will help them to socialize in
Sure,
their
sir.
lives. And at the same time, we have many other activities like debate and the stage work and all those things. There also we can put them to work and we can put them to participate. So this way, I think we can bring changes in such children a lot, and at the same time there should be one collaborative effort in treating, I would say, or in helping out such children. That is the teachers, all the teachers in the school, or all the people in the school, including head teacher and the parents.
Certainly,
And
sir.
even students, we can.
So you are sharing certain important piece of information with us.
This,
But due to
we-
paucity of time, sir, we might not be able to continue. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you for connecting with us in the conversation, and thank you, Santosh sir, also for being a part of this live interactive session and sharing the valuable insights with all our viewers. So it's around 5:30 p.m. So viewers, I am wrapping up the program with an important piece of information regarding the availability of NCERT textbooks. So you may kindly note down the details. NCERT textbooks for the academic year 2023 to 2024 are available throughout the country. These textbooks may be purchased directly from NCERT sales counters that are located in Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Kolkata, Guwahati and New Delhi. The sales counters will be functional on all the weekdays including gazetted holidays, also on Saturdays and Sundays, and the timings would be 9:30 am in the morning till 6 pm in the evenings. You may also place an order for the books online from our website, that is ncertbooks.ncert.gov.in, and these books will be delivered at your doorstep with no delivery charges. And if you want the soft copy, that is the PDF version of NCERT textbooks, then it can also be downloaded for free from NCERT, Diksha, ePathshala website and mobile application. So in order to know more about the authorized vendors, you can always visit our website, that would be ncert.nic.in. Once again, a word of thanks to both the panelists for today's Sahyog session. Thank you, Professor Roy, and thank you, Santosh sir. Thank you to all the viewers who have connected with us. Stay connected, keep watching eVidya channels and take very good care of yourself. Namaskar.